Assalamualaikum Madam Syukra binti Saad. We hope you are in good condition. In this video, our group will present to you question 1A, B and C. For question 1A, we will present to you on how to compute goodwill or bargain purchase on acquisition of Kelemak Berhad. And for question B, on how to calculate gain or loss arising from second acquisition of share in Kelemak Berhad. And lastly, question 1C on how to determine carrying amount of investment in Melekat Berhad. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself and my group mate. My name is Muhammad Syami Izzuddin bin Mustafa. Second, Muhammad Nur Isyad bin Isnin. Third, Muhammad Hamzi bin Ahmad. And lastly is Naim Nazil bin Ismail. So, we look at question 1A. The total consideration comprised of 90% cash and the remaining 10% in the form of Alor Berhad 6% preference share. However, only cash transaction has been recorded. At the statement of financial position as at 30 June 2020, investment in Kelemak Berhad is RM74 million. In this investment, there are two acquisitions. First acquisition is RM54 million, while second acquisition is RM20 million. RM54 million is 90% of cash and the preference share is RM6 million because the remaining 10% is in the form of preference share. Then, for the NCI, the value of RM35 million is we can get from additional information number 5, where Alor Berhad measure the non-controlling interest in Kelemak Berhad at a fair value of RM35 million on 1 July 2019.
So next, the total of CT and NCI, which is 95 million, we need to deduct with total of fair value net asset. So now, the items of fair value net asset are ordinary share capital, pre-return profit and pre-other reserve. The amount of these three items we can get from statement of changes in equity, which are 50 million, 22 million and 8 million. For your information, in the question already state that in second paragraph said the total of fair value net asset of Kelemak Berhad is 88 million and included with fair value adjustment of Kelemak Berhad's non-depreciable land. So this is mean the total fair value net asset of Kelemak Berhad we will get 88 million. But for now, if we total up all these three items that I already mentioned just now, we only get 80 million. So we still have balance of 8 million to get 88 million. So the balance of 8 million, we will recognize it as ARR. So the total of CT and NCI, which is 95 million, we will deduct with total of fair value net asset, which is 88 million, and we will get 7 million. But 7 million we get are not the final answer. We need to deduct the 7 million with impairment loss, which is 10% times with 7 million, and we will get 0.7 million. After we deduct with 0.7 million, we will get 6.3, and this is the final answer. And this answer is the positive, so we will recognize it as goodwill.
We continue with question 1B. In this question, we have to calculate the gain or loss arising from the second acquisition of share in Kelemak Berhad. We will start our calculation with contribution transfer from Alor Berhad with the amount of 20 million. We have to deduct this amount with the fair value net asset of Kelemak Berhad that consists of ordinary share capital, pre-return profit, pre-other reserve and asset revaluation reserve. For ordinary share capital, pre-other reserve, and asset revaluation reserve, we just take the same amount like the calculation of goodwill in question 1A, which is ordinary share capital 50 million, pre-other reserve 8 million, asset revaluation reserve 8 million. But for pre-retained profit, we have to adjust accordingly to the date of acquisition at 1 January 2020. And we will get the pre-RP is 23.9 million. And the total of fair value net asset is 89.9 million. We have to multiply this amount with the percentage of acquisition, which is 20%, and we will get 17.98 million. Contribution transfer has to deduct with this amount, and we will get 2.02 million with a positive value. This is show that Alor Berhad experienced loss on second acquisition in Kelmak Berhad. That's all for question 1B.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nur Irsyad and I will continue for the last question, which is 1C. So the question need us to find the carrying amount of investment in Melekit Berhad. So the fact that we know about Melekit is it is acquired by Alor on 1 January 2020, which Alor acquired 30% of ordinary share in Melekit at RM15 million. So 30% is not a majority vote, but they have a significant influence, which is more than 20% of ordinary share owned. So Melekit is considered as associate. And for the year ended 30 June 2020, Melekit made a profit of RM4 million. Lastly, Melekit sold a piece of land to Alor at a profit of 1 million ringgit. This can be considered as an upstream sale, which is an investee sell something to an investor, which in this case the investor in Melekit and the investor is Alor. So we continue to the calculation of the carrying amount. So firstly, the cost of investment is 15 million, which happened at 1 January 2020, and we need to calculate the share of profit for the year. So the post profit is 4 million times 6/12, which is for 6 months, 1 January to 30 June 2020. There is a 6-month period gap, so we need to times 4 million with 6 months, so we get 2 million. And we need to less unrealized profit of upstream sale, which is the land that I talk about, which is 1 million. Hence we get $1 million ringgit for the share of profit. But this is not the final amount of share of profit, because Alor only own about 30% of ordinary shares, so we need to time the 30% to the share of profit 1 million. Hence we got 0.3, which is the share of profit for Alor in that year. So the share of profit plus cost of investment 15 plus 0.3, and we get 15.3, which is the carrying amount. Thank you for listening to our video. I hope you enjoy it. Assalamualaikum.